Hi, my name is Clarissa Rose Blanton. Today we will be talking and taking a venture about neurons and marketing. Neurons? What? And what does it have to do with marketing? That will all be answered soon enough. Without further ado, welcome to my presentation about neuro-what. With marketing that is developed to higher heights, about 4,000 ads daily are seen by an average consumer. Now, the media analysis are dedicating more passion and science behind making audience audiences engaged to more pleasurable results. With neuromarketing, they use brain scans and eye tracking to emphasize our deepest desires and needs that will be met. And the results are amazing. What results, you may ask? I'm getting there. By adding a human factor, you are incorporating a connection to the audience. Also, by directing the characters to the information you want to relay to us as consumers, our response follows suit. I recently dissected a print ad of a tree with humanist features, and my attention to it was trapped as the message of protecting biodiversity was conveyed, and my reaction soon mirrored its story. As human beings, we have a primal desire to be special and have rarest of objects. I call this power complex. Funny, huh? Well, we also love things to have a certain way to save us money. With promotions on limited or special merchandise and sales for limited time, our must have drive come alive as we flock to the store to get them. As I learned on trend strategies, negative attention creates a negative response, but neuromarketing, they have found that emphasizing the pain in which the advertisers have the remedy, consumers show the need to seek pleasure. Colors invoke emotions. Such a response is transformative effects. Colors target certain emotions, like red being adventurous, blue being serenity and clean, green is associated with fresh and organic, while yellow and orange produce hope and optimism. Once I heard about selling the old to the old brain, my thought came to that of cavemen's fight or flight, which means humans tend to what they want, fight for what they want, or possibly fight something that they feel could harm them. Whereas the flight is the avoidance of the fear factor. The YouTube podcast provided is a funny representation of what I mean, but forewarned contains foul language.
That guy, he's a fun guy to make fun of, but the unfortunate reality is he represents a very real part of our society and how they view mental illness. And that way is, simply put, fix it. What, you got anxiety? I got an idea. How about don't have anxiety? You know what I don't do? When I don't want to do something, I fucking don't Mountain do it. That is not how mental illness works. You don't Mountain do it. Anxiety, for example, is connected to the fight or flight response, which is an evolutionary trait that humans developed over time. Because human beings used to live in caves. And every once in a while, we would come out of the cave and we would be faced with a problem, like a bear or a dinosaur, based on which type of books you like to read. And then your body has to make a decision. But here's the thing, humans don't live in caves anymore. We live in houses with locks. But some of us, the fight or flight response doesn't always work correctly. So you'll just be sitting in your house on a Wednesday, eating a sandwich, and your body will go, bear! Bear attack! Like, I swear to God, it's a ham sandwich. I know it's just a ham sandwich. Run for your fucking life, man! There's bears in here! And then you're in a bear attack. There's a lot of ways you can deal with a bear attack. And I'm not trying to disparage medication. Whatever you need to get out of it is good. But I think medication addresses the symptoms, not the issue. The symptoms, not the problem. So for anxiety often and stuff like that, medication takes that fight or flight response and just turns it off. Now, is having irrational fear bad? Yep. But is not having rational fear also bad? I'm gonna go with yes. Have you ever met someone who's not rationally scared of stuff? They're the most terrifying people on the entire earth. I was at a biker bar in the afternoon one day, and I'm sitting at the biker bar, and we're out on the patio, and out there are 14 bikers, and I'm talking like real tough bikers, not like wild hogs bikers. More like the bad guys in Wild Hogs. That's the best joke I've ever written. The point is, they're tough-looking, scary men. In front of them, they have all their Harleys lined up, one right after another, right? And in the distance, I hear Def Leppard's Pour Some Sugar on Me. Pour some sugar on me. Now it's getting louder. Now it's getting louder. Now it's getting louder. And now it is loud. Come ripping around the corner on a 10-speed bicycle with a boombox bungee corded to the front of the 10-speed bicycle is an adult man in a Looney Tunes cutoff t-shirt, jean shorts that I'm sure he made himself, and Crocs. He rolls up to the biker bar playing Pour Some Sugar on Me, hops off of his bicycle, walks it in between two of the Harleys, kickstands his bike, in the process kicks one of the Harleys. Then he looks right at the bikers' faces and goes, "Hey, is this music too loud for you guys? Because if it is, I could sure turn it the fuck up." And then he turned it as loud as it went, pointed at the bikers' faces, and just back shimmied his way into the bar. 14 of the scariest men I've ever seen in my life were like, "We're not fucking with that guy." He is not rationally scared of anything. It's time to get on these hogs and ride.
As I was saying before, the old brain assesses risk and ultimately decides what gets noticed. Being visual causes us to process the information and is used about half of our resources made to make our brain work. Using big images and props help greatly. Without thinking, your brain is trained to make you jump if you see a snake. Talk about the idea of a snake and nobody moves a muscle. Be visual as possible. Even on podcasts or blogs, you can use words to paint pictures. We understand what we read, but we're moved by what we see, even if it's in our imaginations. By creating contrast is showing the before story and of not being in a good place to the after story where life gets much better. Contrast also give us an idea of a journey, which brings me to having a first and a last is similar to the contrast. but you need to offer direction. And having a beginning brings a grabber of attention where ending closes hot as a result. As we concentrate on beginnings and endings, which allow our brains to figure out things, a good call to action to add to the ending is, so where do we go from here? After reiterating the benefits you are providing. Getting some emotion into your message is the key to making your message memorable. After you've left the room, think about your favorite TV show or ad. Was it great because it was factual, or because it was funny, or moving in some way? This is a no-brainer about the brain. The more emotions you can make something, the closer we feel to it. Simplify your message. Focus on those things that are different about your solution, and make things simple by using metaphors and analogies. It's not enough for the prospect to intellectually understand a benefit using visuals to make a complex concept more simple, and to make an abstract idea more concrete. So let's back be the basics of your conclusion, and don't make claims that can't be backed up by certain figures, concrete figures. If you are seen as others, you're going to have a tough time pursuing your prospects. Use you phrasing to keep things personal for your customers, and to show that you're part of their tribe. Our survival brain, as I call it, doesn't care what you're reporting on unless it pertains to us. Will it help us survive by giving us information that will help us keep our jobs? Will it help us reproduce by making us writers, or better looking? Will it at least make us laugh? It has to be rewarding for the readers. It's all about me, me, me. Our survival system doesn't deal with the abstract. It deals with things in this world. If you want to talk about a thought, what examples of how the idea affects the world? Could it help someone increase sales in a store, or save a life? Be specific. Tangibility. The stronger the sensory experience of a website, the greater the overall impact on the visitors. If you engage the user's senses of sight, that's good, but if you require the use of his or her eyes, sense of sight, and ears, sense of hearing, that's even better. Better still, if you can engage the sense of touch or smell along with the others. Why is this the case? Your senses trigger powerful reactions in your brain. Recent research show that the right sense can open people's wallets, projecting a sense of comfort and home. Think hotel, shortening the time you believe you're waiting, thinking about bakes, or even improve your sense of performance. Think gym. People like to engage in a brand that has a unique voice. You lead sees your brand as a personality that can that has certain traits and characteristics. A brand that has a vague voice fails to connect with the target audience and ultimately loses the appeal. So humanize your work. People are reluctant to try new things unless they have a social proof. Psychology defines this as herd behavior. So, nature made is a good proof that it's reliable. Also, with the fact that nature made is also a vitamin with very good uses. Humor is one psychological element in marketing that always sells. Everyone wants to associate with a brand that has a humorous personality. The trend is partially popular among millennials and Generation Z. According to Krieg, 80% of college kids can easily recall an ad that has an element of humor. So make it charming and humorous. Charmin has a wonderful ad that produces funny results. Reciprocity is the act of giving back to someone who has done you a favor. Brands have often used the psychology trigger to promote their product. Often, the brands use the technique to build email list of potential leads. As represented here, the boy is pulling his father in the wagon where the father usually probably pulls him. Starbucks had given people that are loyal customers a free coffee with Twitter. So promote your idea. Influencer marketing is the hottest trend in social media. According to Influence Marketing Hub, businesses earn $6.50 for every dollar they spend on influence marketing. So, why is influencer marketing so successful? The answer is simple. Humans have a tendency to trust industry's experts. We have an innate, innate trait to trust the advice of an authority in the industry. The common observation of this behavior can be seen in our daily lives when we seek the advice from seniors to validate our decisions. Time to compare. To compare both visual strategies and neuromarketing, to put it simple, provides us ways to change our reality and perspective. As mentioned by both techniques, we should keep the content simple and use visuals. Utilizing large images help us produce as much information, as well as using emotion and humor to make the advertisement memorable. The humanizing our media communications with a face and or voice makes the information provided trustworthy and real. Making our product unique offers the and scarcity and a prize to be won. But giving our audience a tangible story that they can understand, our old brains are more intrigued and not wanting to fight or flight. So neuromarketing is pretty much only assisting the information we already know. Beyond marketing, here are a few different medias that are used beyond the marketing strategy. Neuromarketing is a chance to expand in all forms of media. I am emphasizing the platforms that strive for followers and fan base. such as YouTube, podcasts, movies, music, and transmedia campaigns. With media such as these, when some idea is released, it needs to appeal to their audience. As neuromarketing has shown, the old brain is connected to the gut reaction to specific responses. I recently heard some podcast that had great information in it and it was humorous. One was about smartphones and the other was about the fight and flight response. They used tangible information, emotion, and humor to shine their opinion on their story. This gained trust and invoked a connection to where I find myself looking for more content. YouTube's name itself is trustworthy, but it can the content creators have utilized influencers to bring the influencers and creators more followers. These This creates a ripple effect where the audience sees the collaboration and interaction among them and direct viewers to the others' vlogs. Some YouTubers, like Mr. Beast, works alongside with PewDiePie. I also have seen where one YouTuber hacked big time game, another big time YouTuber's game account to bring the audience excitement and their attention to both sites. This brings me to transmedia campaigns and movies. This brings me to transmedia campaigns and movies. One I see that have gone and passed was Why So Serious campaign for the Dark Knight movie, with exclusive invites and limited gifts of phones that fans flocked to each location. This brought the audience into the movie itself during reality of mundane life. Now, one of our favorite media is one of my favorite medias is music. Now, one of my favorite medias is music. I have seen in real life what music can create. Our music taste is catered around emotions we want to feel or express. Each gen- gender each genre of music has a simple idea that meets each individual's personality. Rockers are rebels, rappers are tough, and pop is popular. With the knowledge gained from viral trends and now neuromarketing, I am capable of a grander list. This will help me to really get to know my audience and entertain them with the max of my adorableness. Tell a story, not a sell, which also includes from neuro, neuro, neuromarketing being visual with pictures and words utilizing colors, along with being personal with a contrast journey. Developing a story evokes emotion and a connection to the audience, where the fight and flight response in the old brain is not able to react, giving an appealing ease to comprehend. By keeping the story simple, interactive, and a beginning with an end, audiences will relate to what is being said. How do we do this, you might wonder? Well, I did one just now. I utilized a question to help you, my viewers, to come up with your own thoughts. That is part of the me brain. People have a hard time listening to others when their thoughts are and emotions are different. To go further, my voice captivates tangibility. When adding the human component, it helps to process and as such. If you if you use one idea to tell the story, it keeps the listeners focused. So defining your niche will capitalize your brand and keep it simple. This is this also goes more in more detail of contrast. If you target the problem with a solution, you will come to pressing the pain button where humans want pleasure. Don't be afraid to make it charming and humorous by adding a little adorable to it. It makes it clever. What is adorable? You're asking yourself. It is a word designed to make ugly titles of being a dork, which only means you might know a little bit more, sound beautiful. And me being the dork I am, I love the idea of references and influencers. These strategies help educate and prove yourself with concrete evidence. Now that we have become personal with this adventure, you and I learning these techniques, what should we do now? That's right, bringing the pudding to where our mouth is. With the knowledge now gained, viral trends and neuromarketing can put our thoughts and ideas into action. This will help us identify the audience, the brand, and the why and what is the call of action. But how is it that identifying these three media examples is going to allow me clarity to you what to do to build on our growth? By realizing what attracts me and then focus my efforts in reversing that order creates my why or your why to be told. I know this sounds a little cliche, but music is my life. Most music venues offer a limited amount of people to be capable for its viewing, but this unique opportunity is a music festival on a cruise ship, Shipwreck. The amount of people allowed only have a short time to buy a room aboard this once a year party before it gets sold out. How many of you can say that you can party with the rock stars to beautiful destinations? I can say I have, and the sights, sounds, and tastes were amazing. That isn't all that they offer for sold out ship. They save one room each year for one lucky person to have a free trip. They have themes on the ship that people have experienced or desire to experience. The art they provide evoke hope, yellow, trust, blue, peace, green, creativity, purple, adventure, and excitement, red, and the unknown, black. The music influencers on board produces emotion that feels like they are meant for you. It is crazy how 5 years ago aboard this the ship that what evokes me to pursue my dream would bring me to the very reason it resonated me in the first place. As I said before, music is life, but so is art. 21 Pilot back in April offered a few lucky fans to win a contest to have their artwork in to be a part of their tour. As well as part of their offer was signed merchandise and joining them on the tour, which I have always enjoyed their vocals, but my interest was more selfish. You're probably wondering why and how so. Well, They were offering me a contrast from my normal life. I have always wanted an, my artwork to be famous. In this way, this was my shot. But on top of that, I am going to school for media communications to showcase art and music. I wanted this to be an opportunity for me to apply my to my portfolio and grab attentions to my clients. Now to bring you to the opportunity that I have been excited about for 2 years since I found Full Sail University. They offer students that were online to be able to experience influencers of our industries, allowing our grades and GPS along with telling our stories to get all paid trip to the events and games. Each one of these promoted their information on different platforms. They even told a story with a simple design and a solution to a problem. What might that problem be? Well, the ability to change one's lives. Two were career opportunities, 21 pilots in Full Sail Hall of Fame week. But wasn't shipwreck as well when I have followed ways to get into that career? The pain of everyday life would change from these experiences. With their clever ways to interest people who would would have known my journey on the ocean, who would have known the journey on the ocean would land me to the ultimately my dream to art and music with the power of media. With viral and neuromarketing showing me the direction to what might be, the only question with so much out there, what is this dream going to turn out to be? What is it exactly I want to do? And what is my why for my who audience, whoever I figure out I need to appeal to? What are we going to do now with the information to make our media intake more pleasurable? Thank you. You have a wonderful, wonderful day.